Hello, welcome to the Villages, Florida. My name is David. I'm a realtor with Florida Realty Investments, and I can be reached at DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. If you are interested in buying a home in the Villages and you'd like some research done as to what a good price in a specific neighborhood would be, please reach out to me. Or if you're interested in selling your home and you're trying to determine what a good price would be to get you a sale within a reasonable period of time, DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. This week we have a lot of charts that are surprising, and we've introduced some new ones. We are trying to continually add new material. If you have any suggestions on data you'd like analyzed, please reach out to me, DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com, or comment below. I do respond to comments, and I'll be happy to entertain any suggestions subscribers have. Two more things to note. First, we produce this show every Monday. Make sure you're getting the most recent information. Secondly, all of this information is drawn from the multiple listing service. It does not include any information from the village's own internal listing service, the VLS. For that reason, if you're interested in buying a home in the villages, you really should have two brokers, one who can show you VLS properties and one who can show you MLS properties. Similarly, if you are considering selling your home, you have to decide whether you're going to show it on MLS or on VLS. So, with that out of the way, let's take a look at what's happening this week and let's see what new information we found interesting. As always, we start by taking a look at what's happening with the 10-year government bond yield. This is the bond yield that most closely tracks the 30-year mortgage rate, and it is encouraging to see that we seem to have put a top in for the short term at least, and maybe even for the longer term. This should help. Mortgage rates are down by almost 0.5% from their recent highs. I don't know if this is actually going to help unfreeze the real estate market. Sellers don't seem to really understand the effect that rising interest rates have had on buyers' ability to buy their houses. 0.5% is certainly a step in the right direction, though. Now, let's take a look at what's happening in the villages itself. As always, we start by looking at the total number of listings here in the villages, which this week number 358, up from 340 last week, and this compares to only 262 total listings the same week last year. It's interesting to note that this week we have 358 listings, the highest number of listings that we've seen over the last almost 3 years was only 363 on the 20th of March of 2022. We're introducing a new concept this week, which is we're breaking the villages up into four separate areas. What you're seeing here is the northern area. Then we have the area we're describing as the middle north. Then we have the middle south, and then we have the south. And as we go through tonight, you'll see that we've broken up listings, sales prices, pending home sales by area, and you can get an idea not only how active each area is, but you can also determine what the median size of the homes are in each area and the median price per square foot, both on listings and homes that sold or went pending. So stick with us, we have a lot to show you tonight. This is the first of our new graphs. You can see we have all regions on the right, the northern area, the middle north, middle south, and southern area on the left. And you can see how many properties are for sale in each price segment in each area. Also on the right, you can see how many properties are for sale in each price segment anywhere in the villages. Here's a more in-depth look at what's happening with all listings. Here we've also broken it down by region, and also you can see for all listings on the right. Let me tell you how to interpret what you're seeing. Once again, north, middle south, and south are the regions described earlier. You can review them yourself, but basically the north is between 42 and 466. Middle north is between 466 and 466A. Middle south is between 466A and 44, and south is below 44. What we're looking at here is specific information on each region. So, for example, if we look at total listings, 357, The median size of all listings is 1,558 square feet, and the median price per square foot for all village listings is 258.69. In the north, there are 178 listings. In the south, only 28. In the north, the median size is 1,517 square feet. In the south, it's very similar at 1,524 square feet. In the north, the median price per square foot is $240.83 a square foot. In the south, the median price is $286.59 a square foot. Here's an overview of the median listing price per square foot for all listings in the villages. I've included this in addition to the previous charts to give you some perspective on any trends that might be developing. This week, the median listing price for all listings is $260.81 a square foot, down marginally from the 261.31 of last week, and also down very slightly from the 268.77 of the same week a year ago. On these graphs where I've double struck the 4-week average, you're looking at actual weekly data. Here we take another look at a trend graph to get some idea as to how long homes that are listed here are on the market. Once again, I've eliminated the 4-week average and I'm showing you actual weekly data points. Last week, the median time in the market for all listings was up to 56 days compared to 52 days for the previous week and compared to only 44 days for the same week a year ago. We play with the data to see if we can find any patterns, and here we look at the median listing time on the market for all village listings and broken down by region. So you can see, for example, that in the north, the median listing time is 46 days, where in the south, it's only 34 days. Median time for the villages itself in its entirety is 42 days. The number of listings that are over 100 days on the market for the villages numbers 60. In the north, there are 36 listings over 100 days old. In the south, there's only one. Here's our last look at listings for the moment. Here we look at what percentage of listings have been on the market for 100 days or longer. This week, 69 out of 358, identical to the 19% that we saw last week. Keep in mind that with the volume of new listings that we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks, this will definitely be a lagging indicator. Now we turn our attention back to a graph that's been causing a lot of distress since we posted it about a month ago. We're trying to get some idea as to the state of the market by looking at every week how many houses are added to the market, which is new listings, and how many homes are taken off the market, which is homes going pending. And we've kept track of this. What you're looking at here is a 4-week moving average, even though the numbers you see are actual weekly data. A year ago, the number of new listings was 39 and the number of homes going pending was 30. To give you some idea, that's a 9-home differential between new listings and pendings. Obviously, the number of listings will increase by close to 50 listings a month at that rate. But what we're looking at now is new listings. While they did decrease slightly from last week from 46 to 40, the number of homes going pending barely increased from 20 to 21, which leaves us with a 19 home per week surplus. This would equate to inventory in the villages growing by about 80 homes a month. It's hard to imagine that this will not cause price dislocation. This is the graph that caused such distress when we first produced it close to a month ago. This is a graph showing us the difference between the number of new listings and the number of homes going pending. These are actual data points. It's not smooth in any way. And we have bounced slightly, but we're still looking at about 20 homes per week more than are going pending being added to the market here. Here's another look at homes going pending. This time we're looking at homes going pending over the last 60 days. You can see how many went pending in the north, 46, in the south, 8, and in the villages in totality, 103. You can also see the median size for each area and for the villages in its totality, and the median price per square foot, including for the north at $235.66 a square foot, for the south at $289.19 a square foot, and for the villages as a whole at $258.84 a foot. Here we take a look at what's happening over the last 7 days only. These are the homes going pending over the prior 7 days, and you can see how active it's been. And you can see what the price per square foot has been for the last year and a half. Last week, the median price per square foot on the homes going pending was 263.61 compared to 259.24 the week before, and up dramatically from the 240.88 that was in effect the same week a year ago. Here's another look at the last 7 days. This is how long the homes that went pending last week were on the market before going pending. The figures you see are actual weekly numbers, and the graph is a 4 week average. 47 days, the median time on the market for homes going pending last week, the same as the 47 days for the week before, and up from the 32 days that homes going pending were on the market a year ago. Here's one of the more interesting and disturbing graphs. This shows us what the price change from the original list price was for the homes that went pending last week. As you can see, this is not a 4 week average. These are actual weekly numbers. We saw a big drop last week to a median price decrease of 8.3% for the homes that went pending. It's even worse this week. It's 8.32%, which compares to a 7.54% median reduction for the same week a year ago. And our last look at pending, and this is particularly disturbing, this shows us how many homes go pending within 7 days of being listed. Last week, only one of the 21 homes that went pending within 7 days, which is barely over 4.5% compared to 30% for last week. It's interesting to note that the only home that went pending over the last 7 days was on the market for 0 days before going pending. Now we'll take a look at the homes that sold and closed over the last 7 days. They numbered 35 last week compared to 26 the week before, and this compares to 25 sales for the same week a year ago. Homes that sold ranged from 128,000 to 630,000. It's been a long time since I've seen a home at 128,000 sell here in the villages. It's especially interesting to note that that $128,000 sale was originally $179,900. As you look at this graph, it might be interesting to reflect upon the fact that the number of new listings seems to be hovering at around 40 new listings a week. And unless sales can maintain that level, the number of listings will continue to increase. And you would think that that would put pressure on real estate prices here. We're going to start by looking at these graphs. Keep in mind, whenever you see these graphs, they represent the prior 60 days of data as compared to when we report on the number of sales, that's the previous 7 days of data. And what you're looking at here shows you that over the last 60 days, there were 253 sales in the villages at a median price of 248.15 a square foot. Below, you can see how many sales there were in each price segment. Similarly, on the left, you can see the north, middle, south, and south, and how many sales there were in each price segment. It's interesting to note that in the north, there were 125 sales, and in the south, only 17, barely more than 10% of the activity that we see in the north. Here we dive deeper into those homes that sold and we look at what price segments those transactions occurred in. Once again, you can see all regions of the villages on the right, and you can see each of the individual regions that I described earlier on the left. Keep in mind that these graphs are organized by activity. So, for example, in the north, the three to $400,000 range is the most active, whereas in the middle south, the four to $500,000 range is the most active. One more look at the homes that sold and closed over the last 60 days. You can see the region, and please ignore number of listings, that should be number of sales. You can see how many sales took place in each price segment in each region. Here's one of our trend graphs. This is tracking over time what the median price per square foot is on the homes that close over the previous 7 days. Last week it was 244 a foot, up substantially from the 229 of the previous week, and barely below the 249 a square foot that was in effect for the same week a year ago. Keep in mind, these graphs reflect the prior 7 days of data. And another trend graph, here we're looking at how long homes are on the market before being sold. The median time on the market for all homes that closed over the last week in the villages was 29 days, identical to the 29 days of a week ago, and triple the 11 days that it was taking for homes to sell a year ago. And we're going to finish up with some good news. This chart represents a moving average showing us what percentage of listings have reduced their asking price from the original listing price. This week, only 47.77% have, compared to 49.12% last week, and compared to 52.67% of listings the same week a year ago. And our final point of good news, this is the median decrease for all the listings here in the villages. This week, the median decrease is a 3.72% reduction from the original listing price, improving from the 3.87% reduction last week, and significantly improved from the median 4.61% reduction the same week a year ago. So that concludes this week's look at the Villages real estate market. Once again, if you're interested in buying a home in the Villages, I am a realtor. I will be delighted to help you and advise you and counsel you as to where you might find a good deal. Similarly, if you're interested in selling your home, I will advise you as to what a good price would be to effect a transaction within a reasonable period of time. If I can help you, please reach out to me at DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. Be happy to answer any questions you have. Hope to hear from you. Take care.